Good morning. It's Paul Beauheart, Bangkok, Thailand. Coming at you with another chemo walk. A little walk and talk. Today I wanted to talk about how did I find out I had cancer. Pretty specific topic, but I figured it's important to share my personal cancer story. Maybe it'll help someone if they have cancer they don't know yet. God forbid. Anywho, the way I found out I had cancer is kind of a lot of little things. You know how when you go on like WebMD or some other online medical service, and you type in, oh, I've got like a mole on my hand, and like one of the results is always cancer. No matter what you type in, one of the results is always cancer. Well, that's kind of a lot of little things for me ended up being, cancer. I was a bit shocked. Anyways, little background on myself. I was born 1980, so I'm 44. I'm American. I was in the US military, 2002 to 2009. I was in the Navy. I was on a submarine 3 years. I was in Iraq about a year. And now, because of the one of the last pieces of legislation that Joe Biden passed, one of the last pieces, and this is not a political channel, but I'm riding with Biden because he passed a thing that if you have multiple myeloma, which is the kind of cancer I am diagnosed with, if you have multiple myeloma and you're in like Afghanistan or Iraq, you get 100% disability from the VA. So I am a 100% disabled veteran, which is a good deal. It's a lot of money, a lot of health benefits. I'll try to make it up to all the American taxpayers by being a positive member of society and trying to give back to the community. But yeah, I got lucky in that Joe Biden passed that legislation. It used to be multiple myeloma didn't count. Didn't get you the rating, the 100% rating, I don't think. But now it does. So anyways, so that's my background. Symptoms. One thing about me, I'm always wearing the running shirts. I've been into running for a while. I know it's kind of cringe. Let me tell you all about my marathon. No, I'm just kidding. But I am into running, so, and this will come into play when you see how I figured out I had cancer. So I've been running a lot since like maybe 2019. I run about maybe 70 to 100 miles a week, depending. And starting in 2022, I noticed I started getting a little more tired than usual. A little more tired, and I wasn't improving, even though I was increasing my mileage, eating healthier. Oh, there's a mean looking dog. So I was increasing my mileage, eating healthier, getting more sleep, but I was like getting slower. It was kind of weird. And I figured, oh, it's just because I'm old. I was also going to the bathroom a lot in the middle of the night. Apologies to the ladies, hope this isn't too gross, but I'd wake up in the, before I would go to bed, I'd have to use the bathroom. It's like, I'd have to use the bathroom like 3 times before I had to go to bed, just having to use the bathroom, and that's a pee. Kept having to pee, It's kind of weird. And then in 2023, as far as running goes, I kept getting slower and slower, more fatigued. And this continued on until 2024. And then one day in April 2024, I was working out. I was doing ab rolls. And I went for a run after. And I felt something like someone had jammed a knife in my back. Like out of nowhere. It was like someone was playing with like a voodoo doll or something and like stuck a pin right in the middle of my back. And it hurt so bad. I was like, ah, and I just stopped the run, went home. And then it got better, but then like other little pains started popping up all over my body, in my back, my ribs. Every like 2 weeks I get some new weird pain. And I didn't know what was going on. I figured it's just, I'm just getting old. I'm 44. You know, I'm in my 40s. I guess I'm just getting old. That's what happens when you get old. So, and then in August 2024, I got, there's a bunch of people were getting pneumonia. It's like going through the whole city, like everyone was getting pneumonia, this strain of pneumonia. And I got that. And then I got like really slow at running. I had to slow way down. I could still maintain my volume of miles, but I had to slow like way down. It was really weird. I was like really fatigued all the time. Really tired. If I tried to run fast, it'd just be breathing hard. Heart rate would shoot up through the roof. And I thought I had lung damage from the pneumonia. I thought I'd suffered some kind of weird, you know, permanent lung damage. Like all those weirdos who thought they had long COVID. Or something like that. Although I didn't say long COVID. I said it was because of the pneumonia. And then things just kind of getting a little bit worse. Marathon season in Thailand is like November, December. That's when all the big races are. So I did Bang San Marathon, which is early November. And you know, I didn't have the greatest time. I was about 45 minutes slower than what I usually run. It was fine, I finished. It was tough. I felt like I ran a really good race, but it was like way slower, you know? So it's like something's going on, like with my body. Like I'm a lot slower. And then came the Bangkok Marathon. And when I went to the Bangkok Marathon, I always wear a lucky bandana for every half marathon and marathon. I have a lucky bandana. And for the Bangkok Marathon, I forgot my bandana. It's a big mistake. And I was on the BTS because it was like, I was getting on the BTS at midnight because the race started at like 3 a.m. or something. I was on the BTS and I realized, oh, I forgot my bandana. So I went down to Sukhumvit, which if you don't know is the kind of like busy nightlife area. And I looked at all the little shops there. I couldn't find a bandana. So I had to go run this marathon without a bandana. And that ended up being the kiss of death because I was running it. It started out fine. And then at the 10 kilo mark, which is about, a marathon is 42 kilos. So it was about 25% of the way there. The 10 kilo mark, my back just started really hurting. Right in the middle, in the, what I believe is the thoracic region. I think that's how you say that. So kind of like the middle, not the lumbar, but like the middle. It just hurt so bad. And I was able to finish the marathon barely. And it hurt really bad. I figured, well, I just pulled a muscle. It's not the first time I've been injured on a race before. So I just took it easy, like a week. I was like, oh yeah, my back will get better. But it didn't get better, it actually got worse. It started hurting more and more. It started hurting so bad, when I woke up, it was hard to get out of bed. And like, it would take me like 5 minutes to get out of bed. I'd have to like kind of worm around for a bit. I couldn't just pop right out of bed. It took a while. And if you want to have a read, I depict that a bit in the Cancerica series, tale number 1. I'll throw up a hover card. You can check that out. The main character has problems getting out of bed too. I ended up going, so I'm like, this is weird. So I couldn't run. So I went to see the doc at the hospital I go to, Weeparam. And they're like, yeah, you need to I got an x-ray. And they're like, yeah, your spine is like curved. Something's going on. You need to get an MRI. I was like, okay. So the doctor scheduled me for an MRI like the next week or something. And then the next day, I had this like crippling pain in my rib cage. It was so bad. And I couldn't even walk. And it was the day of our, it was like a week before Christmas. We had our company end of year meeting to talk about what we were gonna do the next year. And I had to give the presentation to my staff, and I was basically had my head on the table the whole time. And I told my daughter, I thought I might be having a heart attack because I had all the signs. I wasn't stressed, I wasn't a panic attack, but like my, you know, it's like unexplained like chest pains. And I just like, maybe it's a heart attack. So one of my staff took me to the ER. And they did an ultrasound on me. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. And they did a blood test. And they're like, yeah, your kidneys are like operating at 15%. There's something called, for the kidneys, I forgot, it's called like the GFR or something. It measures like the functionality of the kidneys. Mine was like almost in dialysis territory. It was really bad. So I was like, oh, that's weird. They're like, yeah, so I saw the kidney doctor. He's like, yeah, like your kidneys are all messed up. It's not looking good. You've got to take these pills. You got to eat this. And we got to figure out what's going on with your kidneys. I was like, okay. So I saw the hematologist, Dr. T, who's now in charge of my chemotherapy treatment. And he said, okay, there's two scenarios. What's going on here? One, he's like, do you take a lot of like painkillers or like Tylenols? So they're asking me, I'm like, well, how many Tylenols? You know, I don't really take medicine. He's like, do you take like excessive amounts of Tylenols like every day? So basically they were asking if I took like enough Tylenols every day. It'd be like a Chubby Emu video. You know those videos where it's like, man takes like 50 Tylenols per day and this is what happened to his liver. That sort of thing. One of those kind of videos, but I don't really take Tylenols. He's like, well, that's not what's going on. The second is you've got cancer in your bones and it's creating abnormal proteins that are basically destroying your kidneys. I was like, what? Cancer? He's like, yeah. And so I got a biopsy done. They sent to a government lab. And that's how they found out I had cancer. So make sure you get checked up at the hospital. Check all your things. I don't know, I didn't cry or anything, but I did throw up in a bag. And that's also depicted in the first tale of Cancerica, he throws up in a bag. I did throw up in a bag. I was just like stressed out from the whole day. And I was like, well, I guess I got cancer. And so after that, I, started my chemotherapy. So it was, and I looked online about multiple myeloma. It's all this, everyone has the same story. Like, how'd you find out you had multiple myeloma? Oh, broke a rib. Oh, fracture in my spine, fracture spine, fracture my vertebrae. So that's how I found out, was a busted spine, basically. So if you've got a messed up back, go get yourself checked out, I guess. I don't know. Might save your life. Anyways, it's been Paul in Bangkok. Good talk, guys. If you have any questions, drop me a comment below. And we'll see you next time for the next Walk and Talk. It's Paul Beauheart out.